Hello, everyone. My name is Hilary Zhou. Welcome to our VOC weekly news program, where we bring you the latest and most significant news from Chinland this week. Here are tonight's news headline. A Christian pastor in Palewa Township, southern Chinland, was brutally beaten by an arrogant Army AA officer without any apparent reason. A child and a woman were killed due to an airstrike carried out by the military council in Minda Township, southern Chinland. In Otaintuin Village, Depian Township, Sagaing Region, a local school was bombed by the junta forces using jet fighters. According to the NUG government, internationally banned cluster bombs were reportedly used in the attack. Stay tuned as we bring you more important and engaging updates from Chinland this week. A Christian pastor living as a missionary in Kawai Village, Palewa Township, southern Chinland, was brutally beaten without cause by an officer of the Arakan Army AA, according to local sources. Reverend U Lodin, an ordained pastor officially appointed by the Myanmar Baptist Convention (MBC), was reportedly assaulted on the night of April 17th by a man claiming to be an AA officer while returning from a church in Kawai Village. According to someone familiar with the incident, Pastor Lodin had earlier conducted a Salvation Bible training in the village from April 14th to 16th, with prior approval from the AA regional commander and deputy commander. However, on April 17th, while returning from the church at night, an AA officer called him aside and upon arriving at their base, began beating him without giving any explanation. The officer allegedly pointed a gun at the pastor's ear, but did not fire, instead resorting to punching him in the face and repeatedly kicking him in the legs. The assault reportedly lasted from around 8:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pastor Lodin is currently receiving medical treatment in Mizoram State, India, according to sources. Since January 2024, Palawa Township has been under the administrative control of the Arakan Army after it seized the area from the military junta. Local residents are now required to obtain permission from AA forces to travel or conduct religious events, meetings, or training sessions. Without such permission, no religious or social activities are allowed, sources say. A child and a woman were killed in an airstrike carried out by the military junta in Minda Township, southern Chinland. According to the Minda Township People's Administration, the junta launched an airstrike around 9:30 a.m. on May 15th, targeting a village located in Battle Zone Number 1. The attack claimed the lives of a 13-year-old schoolboy and a 40-year-old woman. In addition to the fatalities, 11 civilians were injured, while the villages, school, and over 40 homes were damaged or destroyed, the administration reported. Officials from the township's People's Administration reportedly provided support and assistance to the families of the deceased and the injured. Since the post-capture resistance battles began in February 2025, the military junta has launched at least 13 airstrikes in Minda Township alone, resulting in no fewer than 10 civilian deaths. Although the junta has officially declared a ceasefire until May 31st, it continues to carry out daily airstrikes across the country, leading to ongoing civilian casualties. 7 Chin teenagers from Potopian Village in Mimbia Township, Rakhine State, were arrested by the Arakan Army AA in early May, and their families have had no contact with them since, sources say. According to a local from Potopian Village, the youths were detained on May 3rd at an AA checkpoint in Town while en route to Yangon. They were reportedly trying to flee the area out of fear of forced recruitment, as the Arakan Army had been actively conscripting in Mimbia Township. The arrested individuals are Main Pasto, 15 years old, Main Buiso, 14 years old, Main Tazin, 15 years old, Main Ma Jiao, 15 years old, Mai Sobok, 19 years old, Salai Utan, 17 years old, Salai Boksom, 17 years old. Despite attempts by family members to gather information in Town, no news has been received about the detainees to this day. It is reported that the 7 youths each paid MMK 1.5 million to brokers in order to escape to Yangon, but were intercepted and arrested during their journey. Due to the ongoing conflict in Rakhine State, regular transportation services are no longer available, and travel from Rakhine to other parts of the country now relies on brokers, often at high cost. Back in December 15, 2024, 5 other Chin youths, 2 from Sri Sin village and 3 from Setalan village in Mimbia Township, were also reportedly arrested by the AA at a checkpoint in An Town. Those 5 are believed to be held at Central Regional Command 9 near Gamni village in Mimbia Township. When their families approached the AA to request their release, they were denied and were instead told to send any clothes and food, according to a relative close to one of the detainees. The brutal military junta carried out an airstrike on Otain Twin Village School in Depayin Township, Sagaing Region, reportedly using internationally banned cluster bombs, according to the Ministry of Human Rights under the National Unity Government, NUG. On the morning of May 12th, while children were preparing to take their end-of-term exams at the school of Otain Twin Village, the junta forces launched a deliberate air assault using a fighter jet, even though there was no armed clash in the area at the time. The NUG Ministry of Human Rights stated that evidence from eyewitnesses and remnants of the explosives confirmed that 2 cluster munitions, powerful internationally prohibited explosive devices that release smaller bomblets upon detonation, were used in the attack. As a result of the junta's airstrike, 24 people were killed, including 2 volunteer teachers and 22 students from grade 2 to 11. The NUG's Ministry of Human Rights condemned the attack, reaffirming its commitment to justice, equality, and peace for all. The ministry declared it would do everything in its power to ensure that the perpetrators of such atrocities are held accountable under international law. Chin UFC fighter Joshua Van donates over 50 million MMK through Chinland Foundation for Myanmar earthquake recovery efforts. UFC fighter and Chin youth Joshua Van has donated over 50 million Myanmar kyats through Chinland Foundation to support the recovery efforts for those affected by the recent major earthquake in Myanmar. The donation was made via Chinland Foundation, which has been actively involved in relief operations for earthquake victims on May 15th. This is in addition to a previous donation of 10 million MMK made by Joshua Van on March 29th, immediately after the earthquake struck, also through Chinland Foundation. Following his initial contribution, he launched an online fundraising campaign to support long-term recovery for the victims. The over 50 million MMK donation was raised through that campaign and has now been contributed to the cause. Joshua Van is the first fighter of Myanmar origin to compete and win in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, in the mixed martial arts MMA world. He currently holds a professional record of 6 wins and 1 loss out of 7 UFC bouts and is scheduled to fight Brazilian fighter Bruno Silva on June 7th. That concludes our news for this week. Thank you for supporting VOC and have a good week.